What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 7 to the Sky, guys. We're over here by our sifting arrangement, and because I made a little change to this thing, so it turns out you can enchant the meshes that go in the sieve with fortune, and I did that. If you guys remember before, we were sometimes seeing an item come in here, maybe two items, but sometimes I've seen it go all the way over here. In fact, I think I've seen it come down to the second line. We had a Fortune 5 book that was in our applied energistics system. I don't remember where we got that from, but yeah, you can see the items are coming all the way over here now, as we've been talking. Yeah, so I put a Fortune 5 on this thing, and yeah, you can definitely see we are increasing the amount of items that we're getting per operation, which is fantastic. So we are going through a stack of sand every second. Yeah, one stack of sand every second, and then we are now getting a whole lot more stuff from that sand, which is fantastic. So yeah, if we take a look in here, you can see we got Fortune 5, and I said you could also put efficiency on there, so I had an efficiency 6, so I was like, why not? But I don't think the efficiency is actually doing anything in this flux sieve. The fortune definitely does something, but yeah, that efficiency, that's probably only for manually sifting. Anyway, so yeah, I thought I'd point that out. We can definitely get a lot more stuff out of our sifting operation just by adding that fortune on there. Now, the reason why we have Fortune 5 is because we have the Apotheosis mod in here, and this will allow you to do all sorts of crazy enchantments. If you get like these hell shelves and all this kind of stuff, you can power up your enchantment table and get all sorts of things. Like we take a look at the fortune books, you can get all the way up to Fortune 8, according to this. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. We're only at Fortune 5, so we could have even more stuff coming through, but we haven't set up the hell shelves. We haven't really done anything with the Apotheosis mod. We kind of used it a little bit towards the start of the series with, making the sugarcane farms, how those grow all the way up to the sky limit. But yeah, we could improve our enchantment operation significantly should we choose to do that. But anyway, I thought I'd just point out the fact that you can enchant that with Fortune 5, and it does significantly improve the output of the flux sieve. Last episode, we did set up our arc furnace here so we could do a bit of smelting, and I was thinking this would be pretty good because we could put in raw iron and it would double it without having to have an intermediary machine to crush it first, right? But unfortunately, while this does work, it does have the downside where you have to have these graphite electrodes. They have a certain amount of durability on them, and you can't automatically replace them. You have to manually come in here to replace them. So there's a couple of things that I found out from you guys in the comments, which is pretty cool. There is a mod in this pack under Forbidden Arcanus is what it's called. This item way over here, the Stella Eternal, apparently if you apply this on a smithing table to an item, it makes it unbreakable. So we could go all the way through that mod and then put unbreakable on these graphite electrodes, and then we don't have to worry about them losing durability, which is pretty cool, but that would require us to go through that entire mod, which we haven't even started yet. So that is a thing, but it won't improve how fast this machine goes. There's no way to speed this machine up. There's no way to extract out of the arc furnace faster. It has to push the items out, and it only pushes it out at a certain speed. There's a lot of downsides to this particular machine, and it's kind of big. It looks cool, don't get me wrong. Like, I really like the way this machine looks. I really wish there was a way that you can improve these machines, that there was upgrades, if you could do this or that to them. But yeah, it's pretty much set in stone like how this machine operates, and I just don't think that's going to do it for us. I kind of wanted a setup here where we could take any of our raw materials and just put it through its own thing. Like if we needed iron, we could just say, hey, make some iron, and then a set of machines turned on that would craft iron for us, or I don't know, silver or lead or whatever else, right? So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to set up a bunch of machines here that will take I guess whatever the raw ore is when these pieces get combined, and it'll double it, and it will smelt it, and then it'll just start filling up all of these different drawers full of it, right? So the next best thing that we can use was going to be Mekanism here. Now, Mekanism does have a crushing thing, but the crusher, if you take a look at the recipes on here, does not allow you to take like raw iron, for instance, and double it. You can't do that. You can take iron clumps, and then you can turn it into iron dust, And there's a few other things. So let's actually go into, let's go into here real quick. So if we take raw iron, we look at the uses of this, and we go to the mechanism section, you can see there's a few things. So we can put into the chemical dissolution chamber, and we can do the 5x ore processing thing. This is going to require a huge setup. I'm not really interested in doing that, since we can get all of these resources pretty quickly from sifting. We don't have to be super frugal with it, right? We could do raw iron into these iron shards, and if we do that, then we're going to have to purify it and then do all this stuff. Like, we could do all that. I don't think it's worth it. We can smelt it 1-to-1. We don't need mechanism for that. And then the enrichment chamber, we can take 3 and turn it into 4, which is kind of cool. But if we put the raw iron through a purification chamber, that does require flint or oxygen. I'm not really sure how much oxygen this requires, but if we set up a whole array of these machines just piping oxygen into them, I think we'd be fine. But anyway, it takes raw iron, turn it into iron clump, and then that iron clump we can crush, and then this we can smelt. So it's essentially ore doubling, but it's a 3-machine operation that does require oxygen in order to operate. 3 machines, and then we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so that's 33 machines in order to get all of this stuff going. That's quite a lot. But I think we're going to go ahead and set that up so we can just have all of our ores just being processed, and we don't have to worry about this ever again. So that's the next thing we're going to do. So I'm going to set up the purification chamber and whatever else we were just looking at here a moment ago. I can't remember. What was it? Yeah, the purification. So the raw iron comes into here. This goes into a crusher. So purification, crusher, and then a smelter. Oh, actually, I guess this is an enrichment chamber. So it's not even a smelter. Wait, did I click the right one? Hold on a second. Is this a 4-step? Maybe I'm mistaken. So raw iron into iron clump into dirty iron dust in the crusher. Then we take the dirty iron dust in an enrichment chamber, and then we smelt that into that. So it's a 4 machine. We're gonna need 44 machines in order to make this happen. All right, guys, so we are in the process of setting up our big wall of machines here. This is going to be taking an input from the top, the raw ore piece or whatever. It's going to be purifying it, then it's going to be crushing it, then it's going to be enriching it, and then it's going to be smelting it. That's as far as we got now. So we have 44 of these machines. Yeah, they're all the ultimate factories. I have not made the upgrades for them yet, but I have gone through and set all the configs on them. So there is an item in Mekanism, the configuration card. You set up one of these machines, you shift right click on it with that configuration card, and you right click all the remaining machines, and it copies all the settings all the way down, right? And you just do that for the next line, and the next line, and the next line. So that's what I ended up doing. So right now I'm setting up these interfaces. We have 5 different types of ores in this one, and we have 6 in this one. So I am setting up the... what is this? The advanced pipe upgrade, I guess all the different slots on them, right? So it knows which machine these ores are going to. That way, it's not just pulling raw iron and sticking it into all of these. We want the raw iron to end up over in a specific machine, then the gold and the copper, etc., right? So this one right here has 6 different ores in it. So the way we're doing that is using this filter destination tool. So the next one we're doing right now is the raw tin. So we need the tin to go into this one. This is the number 6. So I need to shift right click the top of this block. And then I can right click onto the pipe upgrade. So we're going to put tin in there. So I do a shift. I thought you could shift click. Can you not shift click? I thought I was doing a shift click in here earlier. Oh, you know what? I don't have this in there. That's why. So shift click raw iron adds the item here. So I click on that, edit. Then I click this right here. See, it puts the coordinates and then has a U for the upside, and then we're going to submit. That's how we are doing it. So the next one would be this one. Shift right click. Then I can right click onto here. Then I'm doing a shift click on that one, edit, and boom. Yep. So I'm going to continue doing that for all 6 of these. And then we need to figure out how we are going to get... well, we need to get the oxygen in this. So that'll be another thing that we're going to have to set up here. So we'll figure that out here in a moment. All right, so a few more changes have been made here. We went ahead and installed some ultimate pressurized tube that's providing oxygen to our ultimate purifying factories along the top. We didn't really need this big of a pipe, but I figured we can, so I did. We have one electrolytic separator. We are just dumping excess hydrogen, and all of the oxygen is being output into this pipe and going into those machines. Okay, we have power coming from the back of this, powering this machine right here, and power is being distributed through this flux point through 3 different energy pipes here, all with the diamond upgrade, so we can do 32.7k per tick times 3 to provide power for all these things, which I think is more than enough, but I haven't turned this on, so I don't know for sure. We might need more. Yeah, so the electrolytic separator is getting its water from the sink right here, just through this pipe. That's enough. Oh, you know what? Okay, so let's put one of those in there. We could be making stuff way faster, I guess, if it actually had water. How is this going now? Okay, yeah, that looks better. Yeah, so we're making a lot of oxygen now. I guess we were starving it previously. And then underneath these machines, we have item pipes that are all extracting out of the bottom with the diamond upgrade, and that's going into this ME pattern provider that we are not showing up on the terminal. Yep, and this is just so we have a return inventory. So the ingots have a place to go in our applied energistic system. Now, again, I haven't turned this on yet, so we're going to be doing this for the first time together. Hopefully, I haven't made a mistake here, but I think we should be all set. So again, I made all these different items here. There's 6 in this one, 5 in this one. The 5 here are going to the first 5. The 6 here are going to these 6. And I made recipes for every one of these that are turning the ore pieces into these raw items. So the last thing that we need to do is actually connect these interfaces to applied energistics. We might run into an issue with our crafting CPUs. Maybe? It looks like things are happening. A lot of machines are turning on. Looks like some of them are turning on and some of them are not. I'm not sure why. Oh, yep, mistakes have been made here. I wonder what that's all about. Okay. So we have lead and aluminum on this one. Is this because... Yeah, I think I need to separate these pipes. I think that's the problem. So let me go ahead and do that. I think that'll fix the issue. So once this all clears out, we should just be getting whatever, I guess it's supposed to be lead going into here. But again, we don't have any lead, so I guess we have made all of our lead. Well, anyway, yeah, we should be taking this. That should be going down into here. It looks like, oh, I guess I didn't turn on the distribute option on these. And that is using up all the oxygen. Okay, so yeah, that's a problem. So in these machines, I did add in the gas upgrade, so we should be doing this more efficiently. So we have the energy and the speed and the gas upgrade. So these are upgraded as best as they can be. Just need to make sure I turn this distribution button on all of these machines. I'm gonna have to do that on all 44 of these machines, so that is another thing we're gonna have to look out for. All right. That's in that. So looks like we're still making copper, we're still making gold, we're still making iron. Silver has pretty much no place to go. We just got a little bit of lead there, it looked like a moment ago. Yeah, okay, so oxygen is an issue. Are we out? We are out. So it looks like for this setup, I am in fact going to need more than this electrolytic separator. It looks like power isn't the issue. How much power are we using? Let's take a look at our flex point. We are using 40,000 FE per tick for this. Okay, okay. I mean, that seems fine. Yeah, and basically all these machines are on. Things are happening. We're getting a lot of ingots here. Let's take a look at ingot. We should be seeing like basically all of these going up at the same time. Okay, so this is what I wanted to see. And once we get rid of our backlog, then these will only turn on when we get the raw ore pieces. So when I switch over from sand to gravel, for instance, then we'll see a lot of these kicking on. But for right now, once all the backlog clears, it should mostly be iron, I think, and maybe zinc is what we're getting from the sand. I can't remember. What all are we getting from sifting a sand as far as ore pieces go? We are getting iron, uranium, and zinc. Those are the ones that we are getting right now. So yeah, those will keep going. Uranium we don't have set up down here, but I guess we could add it in. I'm not entirely sure if I want to do it this way or continue doing it the way we already had set up previously. But yeah, let me go ahead. Oh yeah, I need to set all of these down here to distribute as well. All right, well, let me go ahead and just continue examining this and make sure I haven't messed anything else up, and we'll be back, guys. Yeah, so after a few changes, we are now using more power than what we are making. Oh my goodness. Okay, I wasn't expecting it to be using this much power, but we do have a large backlog. So yeah, what I ended up doing was adding in 3 more of these electrolytic separators. Still not sure if that's actually enough. It feels like we are still kind of backed up a little bit. Yeah, not all of these are going at full speed. I might need 1 or 2 more of those electrolytic separators, but I went ahead and removed all of the incorrect ores from these things. We have the auto sort turned on. All of these machines are doing what they should. Take a look at how fast we're collecting those ingots though. That's looking pretty good, I think. If we take a look, what are those things called? Pieces? Okay, so yeah, we still have quite a number of these different pieces that are needing to be caught up on. Yeah, so we're going to be using a lot of our power for quite some time here. Now, if we take a look at the power difference, actually, so we are using more than what we are making, but we are essentially using like 30k per tick. We're 30k per tick drain on this. So we're going to take some power out, but we have so much stored up. We do have 1 pixel of power on this power bar, by the way. Yeah, 30k draw on this for, I don't know, a long time really isn't going to touch the amount of power that we have. So we're okay doing this for a while. This can't go on indefinitely, and it won't go on indefinitely because eventually we'll run out of the raw ore pieces, right? So I think for now, this is fine, even though we are using more power than we are currently making. I think we'll be okay. But yeah, I'm going to look at adding maybe 1 or 2 more of these electrolytic separators in here so we can get all of these going at full blast. Well, I ended up adding in 3 additional electrolytic separators, and we don't actually need this many. This pipe is completely full right now, and the reason why we don't actually need this many is because eventually, when we provided enough oxygen, the outputs of this machine has filled up. So we can't even use the entire ultimate purifying factory because we're doubling the amount of raw items that are coming in here, so twice as many items are coming out as going in. So that means we would need 2 of these crushing factories in order to support that. And it's not just that one. Every single one of these has backed up in such a way. Now, another thing, this one right here was the machine that we were doing cobalt, and we are out of cobalt. So that whole machine row was turned off, and I was like, huh, okay, well, let's go ahead and do our uranium. We'll switch it over from our industrial, the FTB industrial contraptions. There we go. The FTB industrial contraption machines that we had before. We'll swap that over here. So now we're doing our raw uranium over here. But yeah, again, we don't have enough machines to support the outputs here. So this is backing up, unfortunately. But yeah, that's just the way it's going to go. But yeah, this all seems to be going quite well. But since these machines can't use every single one of these input slots, yeah, we didn't quite need as much of the oxygen as what we're making, but, you know, we now have all these machines, and the ones we aren't using just aren't doing anything, so it's not like it's really harming anything. Yeah, so we'll just leave that alone. So I've been keeping watch on our ore pieces here. I have seen this go down. This was at about 90,000 the last time I remember watching it. So I've been kind of AFK doing some things in the world, whatever, for a while. It's had time to drop down like 50,000. And I assume basically all of these have, except for the iron. The iron, I don't think we are losing any. I think, in fact, we are still gaining because, of course, we are doing the Fortune 5 on the sift here. So yeah, we are getting quite a bunch of these pieces. Also, I think zinc and uranium are the ones that we're getting out of that as well. So yeah, zinc I'm not sure is going down, nor is uranium. But that's perfectly fine. Uranium, like we need that all the time to keep our bigger reactor going. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do about the iron. We're just not going to run out of it, I suppose. So that will always just be going, which will always be making more iron, which will eventually fill up. So I suppose maybe it's time we put in some void upgrades here on this. Like, I don't know if we're ever going to get 262,000 blocks of iron, but eventually, if we are in this world long enough, collecting iron at the rate that we are right now, it will eventually fill up. So it's probably something that we should look at the very least. Some other things I have noticed, since we are collecting so many of these other items here, things that we are collecting, prismarine shards, we are collecting the other prismarine thing. So I did set up some drawers over here to handle that. So yes, our prismarine shard and prismarine crystals are now coming over here. We had 200,000 of those with no drawer previously, and that was all going onto our digital storage, which is not good since we are still just running on 16K disks. We had a few red lights there, so yeah, that kind of tipped me off. Something was amiss. We're up to 1.5 thousand piglet hearts, and since we're collecting that many, I decided we should set up a drawer for that as well. So I have placed one over here. I also noticed that our bone meal, kind of random, our bone meal was filling up on our discs as well. I didn't have any upgrades in here. We didn't have a void on this one, so this will hold 2.4 million bone blocks eventually. So we should be able to hold quite a bit, 21.1 million bone meal. So yeah, that'll eventually take care of itself. Well, it'll eventually fill up, but the void upgrade will take care of any extras, I guess I should say. But yeah, other than that, I think we're doing pretty good. I do notice here that we don't have a void upgrade on our uranium. So we'll hold 8.4 million of those, and then we'll start overflowing. So again, another void upgrade. It might even be an idea that we swap this out from a regular drawer to a compacting drawer, and that way we can hold probably, actually, is that more? 2.4 million, 8.4 million. No, I think the regular drawer is the way to go, especially if we don't need the nuggets or the blocks for anything. Yeah, this holds fewer ingots. Yeah, you know what? I think we'll just leave it alone. We'll just put a void upgrade on this to make sure that we don't ever overflow the system. So what got us down the path of doing all of these ores, if you guys remember, we were trying to make that solar panel. We were going to make one of these advanced solar panels. Now, we don't have the amount of bytes required in order to do the crafting operation in one go, but we were running out of different nuggets. So we have enough iron nuggets now. We have enough, I think there was another nugget in here that we needed a bunch of. Yeah, lead nuggets was another one that we were running out of. So that's taken care of. We do have plenty of redstone dust. Again, that's 110,000 glass. That is quite a lot of glass. There might be another way that we can do that. I'll have to look into this. Is there anything else in here that we should start looking at? Yeah, maybe we should start getting recipes set up for electrum and lumium. Steel we already have, but we don't have a recipe for nuggets. So that's probably something that we should look at in Invar and Signalum. So yeah, we have quite a few different things in here. I do believe we have recipes for Signalum, but if I remember correctly, so like if I do this, no, I thought, okay, maybe we might have changed that recipe. A while ago, we had made a lot of these thermal recipes where it was using the ore hammers in order to like crush ores. I was kind of thinking that maybe we had that set up still, but apparently we don't. So if we go in here and we do Signalum nuggets, yeah, we're gonna have to set up a recipe specifically for this so it can craft extras. Where do I put this? Our ores are all the way down here. I guess I'll stick them down there. So if we go, let's see, solar, this. So it now knows how to make Signalum nuggets. It has to craft 297 of those, which means it has to make 32 of those, which isn't bad. That's not bad at all. So we'd have to do the same thing for Enderium and Invar. Do we know how to make Invar? We do. Does that have a crazy recipe? Nope. Okay, so we'd want to do that again. So Invar, we'll just make a recipe for the nugget, like so, and we'll throw it all the way down here at the bottom. Sweet. Okay, so if we do solar, yeah, the bytes are going up 1.9. I think it was 1.8 previously. Yeah, so now that's satisfied. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and do that the rest of these nuggets, and then we will be right back. Okay, so we should have everything set up now for the solar. If we do this and this, it's happy with everything except for the amount of bytes it requires for this crafting plan. One of the big things here is this 32,000 leadstone solar panels. If I tell the system to create 32,000 of those, the leadstone one, let's just say 32,000 of those next. You can see that's 1.8 million bytes. So that's the vast majority of this crafting recipe is making all of these. So that is what we need to figure out. So we go back into here. Next, we need 32,768 of these things. So I was trying to figure out what would be the best way to like set up an export bus and have that amount be made. Well, if we come over here, we take a look at, for instance, this drawer, this oak drawer, we have 2,000 rib bones in it. Well, it says 2,000. If we go into here and we look up rib bone, you can see we actually have 2,048 rib bones. Okay, so if we have 2,048 and then we put in a copper upgrade, which increases the storage by 8, so that'd be 2,048 times 8, which is 16,384, which is exactly 1/2 of the amount of what we need for the leadstone thing. So if we set up 2 drawers, both with 1 copper upgrade in it, then as soon as both of those drawers are full, we have the correct amount. Then we're good to go, right? So I think what we could do is set up like what we have done downstairs over here. Like these guys, just a crafting card set up with a stack, for instance, of leadstone solar panels being generated. So it's going to craft it, it'll put it in here, and then we'll extract out using a pipe and then into some drawers. I think that is probably going to be the best way. And then once all those drawers fills up, it's going to stop crafting, and then we won't have to worry about it, and we will be good to go. So I think that's the first thing we need to do. Let's make some drawers real quick. 2 drawers. We're going to need 2 of those copper upgrades. 2 of these. We got to find a home for where we're going to put these things. This is just going to be a temporary thing while we're crafting. But for right now, I'll just go through these upgrades in each one of those so I don't have to carry those around. Okay, so yeah, we need to find out where we're going to do that. So we are also going to need to get ourselves an interface. One interface with a crafting card. And then we're going to need to set the pattern for that. I can't remember if we can drag items. I don't think we can. So let's make leadstone solar panel. We'll just tell the system to make 1 of those. So I'll have a place, well, I guess an item in my inventory that I can set a filter on it. Oh, I made the advancement. Start with the basics. This thing makes 1 FE per tick, but it can transfer 2 and it stores 1,000. So it's very, very basic. So yeah, we need to find out where we're going to put this thing. Where should we put it? We could, I mean, it's a temporary thing, so we could literally just put it anywhere, right? How many channels we have off here? We have only 3 channels being used. So I could just set up a thing like directly off this, like so. Put this here. We'll set the wrench, do 64, set. Okay. And then we'll put the crafting card into here. So I'll start crafting those. We'll put our drawers, I guess, right like this. And we will use some pipe to extract out of that and go into these drawers. Like so. Very good. I think that's all we need to do. Pretty sure that's it. Well, obviously we have to connect up the ME glass cable so this thing will turn on, but I think that's basically all we have to do. Our plate energistic system should start crafting those things, and as it crafts it, it'll start filling this up. And when this one's full and then this one's full, we'll be done, right? I think that's essentially all that we have to do. So we've collected 2 of those so far. That's weird how it's placing it like that in that drawer. Okay, yeah, it's doing like a 3D model instead of like a 2D representation of it, but whatever. So yeah, I'll just throw that in here. That should end up over here. And then it looks like we're making 5 at a time. I'm not sure why, or I'm sorry, we're making 2 at a time. I'm not sure why we were doing that, but let's come over here. Where's it? Is it not making any more? 30. Oh, okay. Now we're extracting out. I'm not sure what it was doing. There we go. Yeah, so 55 of them. I guess I was making a bunch in bulk. It's doing something. I'm not entirely sure why. Can I see my crafting CPUs? Oh, it's probably the steel then. Yeah, our steel is going to be the bottleneck. Steel and glass looks like. So if we can make glass faster and just have that pre-prepared always, then this will go faster. Let's take a look here. Glass is made, well, obviously just by smelting sand into glass, right? We can do bulk crafting if we wanted to get into create. We can do this, have a thing automatically set up where we just drop a bunch of sand, and after a while, the fan blows through the lava and turns the sand into glass. We could do that. Material Stonework Factory. This is looking like something that I might be interested in. This is another way that we could do that. Or we could just literally set up a bunch of dedicated smelters specifically for turning sand into glass and just have that running constantly in the background. So there's a few ways that we could do that. I'm going to think about that here for a little bit and then we'll be back. Right, so since this is a temporary thing here where we're making these solar panels, I figured we'd just set up a temporary solution to take care of the glass, and here we go. So we are just exporting sand with acceleration cards into a brand new ultimate smelting factory. We have it fully upgraded with the speed and the energy. So yeah, we are using 1.8K FE per tick in order to do this. And then that is just going directly into this interface back here. So all the glass that we're making is just going back into there. But if we take a look, glass into our system here, you can see wherever it is right here, glass, it is going up. And then it gets used. We're using more than what this one machine can do. So we are still not making it fast enough for this recipe, but it is making these solar panels way faster than what it was before. If we go back into here, we can't see that there actually. The only way we can see how many we have is right here. Well, anyway, we are making this way faster than what we were before. I guess the other thing we could do is see the recipe where it's actually crafting these things. Yeah, so the bottleneck right now really is the steel, I believe. Yeah, you can see it's just crafting those up quite quickly, and then it slows down as it's waiting for that steel to finish up, or it's crafting up some more glass, one of the two. It doesn't really matter. But either way, this is one of those things that, you know, we are 1/10 of the way done-ish. So I feel like at this point we should be good where I can just AFK and just let that craft in the background. I don't think there's going to be a problem here, but just in case, I did set up a drawer right here to house glass in case I AFK way too long and then, you know, it finishes up crafting. I don't want our entire digital storage full of glass. So if anything were to happen, it'll fill up here. We have a large amount of storage. This can hold 8.4 million glass. And if that's still not enough, yeah, we'll void out the extras. So I think we'll be pretty okay. I think we'll be fine. But yeah, I guess all the extra sand, extra glass is being made over here. And then all the other things are being crafted here, like the steel and whatnot. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here for today, guys. We got a lot of stuff going on. I'm feeling pretty good about where we are as far as our automations go. But yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.